Good morning. All right, so we're gonna make an LED blink this time, all right? So here's what you're gonna need. Now your cord might look a little different. It's gonna look like one of these ones, all right? So we're gonna make the little LED on this this Arduino blink. Now, what's great about this is you just gotta plug it in and open up the software. I'm gonna see if I can turn this around. Let's see if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can see what I'm doing there. Cool. I'll have to figure out some screen recording software as well. So let's hope that's not backwards. And this is the full sketch, but we can also go through the little project write-up. All right. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna want to open the Arduino software once you have the device plugged in to a USB port and the software is installed. You open it up and you can start a new sketch. All right. I recommend when you start a new sketch, you want to save it. All right. So we can do Control S as a shortcut, or you can click here. I'm gonna use the shortcut. Control S. And then it's gonna ask you for a name to save it. All right. So you see the name there. Cool. All right. So I'm going to bring this back up over here. And in our case, we're gonna give it our name. So Richard Blink, you see I have a bunch of stuff like that. And then just click save and it'll create a new folder, all right? Now the reason I'm not doing that is that I already have a copy of it. I don't want to overwrite that on accident. In fact, I'll name it something different. Blink 2. Let's call it that. Awesome. All right. So I want you to, use whatever ends up working best for you. All right. Whatever ends up working best for you. If taking the code, opening it up, and working with it works best, do that. Or you could follow along with this, or you could even just look at the instructions. So the very first thing that we're gonna do with setup is we're gonna tell it the pin mode. Okay, this tells it how this function tells Arduino how it's gonna run. All right, so we're gonna go build in output. Cool. All right. Now that is setting up this function. Now we go into loop and it says put your main code here to run repeatedly. All right. So now we want to write to that LED built-in pin mode, right? So digital write. We're gonna use this function. We're gonna say LED built in, and we're gonna write it high. That means put the voltage high, all right? Now, we need to put a delay in here. If we didn't put a delay in here, it would go so fast we wouldn't see anything at all. It would just go high, low, high, low, high, low. And electricity can move way faster than we can see. And so we're gonna put it in a half second. 500, this right here is in terms of milliseconds. So 500 milliseconds or a half second delay. And then we're gonna tell it to turn off. LED built in. And we're gonna tell it to delay again, okay? Delay. And there we go. That's this blink script. Now, this is like if you were to flip a room light on, wait half a second, flip it off. Flip it on, wait half a second, flip it off. Wait half a second. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here and we're gonna click on verify. Verify checks through all your code. Make sure that everything's okay. If it's not, it'll give you a warning at the bottom. Cool, all right. We can see that. I'll have to go back through it. And then the next thing we do is we're going to go up here and we're going to check the ports. Now, right now, nothing's selected. Sometimes it automatically selects it, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna manually select. So that's in the tools menu, port COM12 in my case. And then you can actually go back and see that it changes the text here to let you know which one's selected. If it automatically selects one, it should say something there. You can still double check. All right. Excuse me. Now we're gonna upload that. So we click upload. We're gonna watch down here. There's the progress bar. It's done. And check this out. We come over here. Uh-oh. Where's our blinking? So we're not gonna blink right now. Oh, it looks like it's still uploading. I've never had this happen before. I'm glad this popped up. So now we get to troubleshoot. All right, so for some reason, our code, maybe it's too early in the morning, so we're having issues fully uploading stuff. So now we get to go back in and troubleshoot. So first of all, let's look at which light is supposed to be blinking. That might tell us something. All right. Nope, that's not blinking. So we could just try it again. Interesting. An error occurred while... This is amazing. All right. So let's unplug and then replug. So I'm gonna unplug the USB port. The Arduino turns off. Let's go to tools. Nothing is in COM12. And then I'm gonna plug it back in. All right. Now, sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's quick to pick up when it's there. All right. We double check through here. We didn't miss any of our line terminators. So let's upload again. Huh. Wow. All right, so it's saying it can't open the serial port. It can't find, so this is a little complicated thing, but basically the way computers work is that they give a digital identifier to the different USB ports. And if they can't find that digital identifier, they can't connect to it. So I'm gonna connect to the back of the computer, which requires me to pull the whole thing out. This is a very, very old computer, by the way. It's still on Windows 7. But I'm glad that you're getting to see me troubleshoot through this, because you might run into this issue too. And if you do, I want you to know that it is okay. We will try plugging in somewhere else. Our office is a little tight on space. Although I'm grateful that we have an office. It's pretty cool. All right, let's try this now. I'm gonna plug into a back USB, all right? There we go. We're gonna check back up here. Now it's interesting, totally different USB port, but it still says COM12. Well, let's try our upload. And look, no issues. Ain't that a thing? And we got our blink. Blink, 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 blink. Now, check this out. So I'm gonna put this down here. What's it gonna look like if we increase that delay? Let's increase that delay to 1,000, okay? So I'm gonna come back up here. Oops. We're gonna go 1,000. So if 500 is half a second, 1,000 is a whole second. All right, so you can verify it. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna show you the process of uploading. I'm gonna show you this so you can see how that delay changes. Okay. Got that. All right. Now I'm gonna click upload right now. Look at that. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. All right. Now let's change it to 2,000. How much time is 2,000? You see that? All right, so I'm gonna go back to 500 because that's quick enough that we don't have to have a ton of patience with it, but we can still see something going on. And you're done. There you go. You can play with the values if you want to. You know, you can see what happens when the delays are not the same. So maybe you have it on for a second and off for half a second. Well, guess what? Let's take it a step further, all right? So right now this is gonna blink nonstop. It's just gonna keep on blinking, okay? And ideally, we'd want it to blink when we have some sort of input, right? We don't want it just to always blink. We want it to blink for a reason. Kind of like if when you turn on your computer's light turns on, right? And the light turns on to let you know that it's running. Depending on the computer you have, some laptops don't have a light on them. But what we're gonna do is we're going to add a little bit more to it, okay? So, again, if you want to, you can start by opening the file. So I'm gonna go here, let's close this, and all the files should be in the Google Drive folders. Let me double check to see if you can see what I can see. Yes, you can. Cool. All right. Let's pull that back a little. So if you want to, you could open up this advanced, or you could type it along with me from scratch. Okay. Check that out. Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump down here. I'm going to type it out from scratch so you can see it, and it'll take a minute. So again, we want to save it, and this one we're going to say Richard Blink, and you see that it changed that one to 2 like that. Well, I'm just going to copy the way it changed it so it doesn't have to go through that thinking. Advanced 2. Cool. All right, you don't have to add that 2 at the end. That's just because I already have the first one. So in this case, we're going to do the same thing. So you could even just take the code that you already used, and you take the code that you already used and save as, and it'll let you change the name. That way you don't have to retype everything. We're going to go pin mode, LED built in, output, cool. We're familiar with that. All right, now for the loop. So I'm going to tell you a pro tip about the loop. With Arduinos, we want this loop to run as fast as it can. It's going to do this over and over and over and over again. And the way to let it go as fast as it can is you have as little code in there as possible. All right, you make sure that you have only the code that you need in there, and then the rest of it you take out to functions. Now, of course, you can imagine it gets a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the simplest version of it. So let's just have one line of code in there. We're going to make our own function. Let's call it blink by response. And this is going to take a number of times that we want it to blink. Okay, let's say 10. Cool. All right. Now we're gonna make our function. So we're gonna go void blink by response. Now int, we're telling it that this next thing is gonna be an integer variable. So whatever we plug in is gonna be a number, an integer. That's a counting number, like 1 through 10, or even larger. To blink, that's what we're gonna call it, times to blink. Open up the function, it automatically puts the closing bracket. And then what we want to do is we want to have a number that can count for us. All right, so let's go int I equals 0. We set that at 0 so that we give it some value. So the program's not just wondering what it is. All right, and you'll see over, in the instructions that I add comments. I'd recommend adding comments to remind yourself of things or to communicate what's what. And that can help. All right. Now we're going to come down here. For those of you who programmed, you might be familiar with this. If you haven't programmed before, you might not be familiar with this. We are going to create something called a for loop. And the way a for loop works is we're just going to read it out. For I, which is integer I, so for I, that value, as long as I is less than times to blink. Times to blink is the thing that goes in the function up here. There's times to blink. So in this case, it's going to be 10. So for I, as long as I is less than 10, or whatever value we put up there, we want to run this loop, but also increase I by 1, I plus plus. Plus plus means increase by 1. Oops. There we go. And the nice thing about the Arduino software is that it automatically puts the terminating bracket. You won't always get that in programming software. And so it's good to practice it or keep your eyes out for it. And then we're just going to put the exact same stuff we had before. All right. Now, if you want to be lazy like me, we can just copy paste, change this to low, and there we go. We saved ourselves some typing. Now, once we are outside of that for loop, okay, we don't have to add this delay. In fact, I don't even remember why I added the delay. Maybe it was something left over from something else. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay, this delay is important here, and I'm glad I went back to read it. So if you get confused about anything in the video, please go look at the written instructions. I spent a little bit more time on that. So delay 10,000. How many seconds is that? I'm gonna let you think about that. Now, this loop right here, remember, void loop is gonna run as fast as it can. Well, if we're gonna run that fast, we're telling it that we want it to blink it 10 times, okay? So it plugs this in, it comes down here, it takes this 10, and times to blink. This is now replaced by 10, okay? So it runs through this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it continues on to this next part of the loop right here. But that's the end, so that means it starts it all over again. And that means it's just going to blink another 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we do not put this delay 10,000 down here, we will never see that it blinked our 10 times. But because we did, we will see that. So now we're going to go here. We're going to, again, upload. And then I want you to watch. Okay? Oh, hey. Time to blink was not declared in this. Oh, because I said times to blink. Catch that. Times to blink. Now we'll save it, upload it. If I had verified it, would have caught that before uploading. All right, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and then it pauses. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it pauses. How cool is that? All right, so what I want you to do then is I want you to play around with these different numbers. If you come to this advanced step, awesome, fantastic. Change that number there. Make that, I don't know, 11, 20, who knows, okay? Just remember, that's how many times it's gonna blink. And then you can come into your function here. You can change the delay for how long it's on. You can change the delay for how long it's off. And then you can come down here and change the delay for how long it pauses before it continues to run the loop, all right? All right, 20 minutes is a bit longer than I was hoping for, but hopefully that's enough time for you to nail this project down. The future ones are gonna be a little bit more advanced. They're gonna take a little bit longer. I tried making YouTube videos of tutorials once before, and you know me, I work way better in person, but let me know how it goes. I'm gonna see if I can get 2 projects out every Sunday morning, because that's the only time I get some time to work on some spare stuff. So I will catch you at project 2.